Good evening. I have to confess that I'm so filled with the spirit of this evening. The spirit of your spirit. Spirit of justice. Spirit of human rights. And it's a very holy spirit. And it makes me a little afraid to start to speak. I'm just not sure what I might say in those conditions. I do want to say one thing that occurred to me as I sat through all these incredibly powerful and moving testimonies and speeches and music. And that is that before I got here in Atlanta, I was thinking, I was telling people I'm going to come down to Atlanta to try to help save Troy Davis. And after this evening, I realized that what's happening is that it's the fight for Troy Davis that is going to save me. And if we can keep up the fight for Troy Davis and the fight for others like Troy Davis, we can save this country and eventually save our world. Start by thanking the reporter for this incredible experience and honor, actually, of being in this historic church that is so inextricably associated with the greatest fighter for human rights of all time, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This country has finally built a monument to Dr. King on the Mall in Washington. And what we haven't done yet is gotten people not only to read, but to follow the words that are written on that monument. Words like these. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Hate multiplies hate. Violence multiplies violence. If we could follow those words, we wouldn't have to be here tonight talking about Troy Davis, because Troy Davis would not be on death row. I also want to say how proud and honored Amnesty International is to be working in coalition with such incredible partners like the NAACP and Georgians for Alternatives to the Death Penalty. They have lifted us up and given us courage and strength and inspiration in this long and hard fight. And what has brought us all together is one very human and simple point of view. We may differ on lots of things, but we have one thing in common. We don't think it's right to kill a human being. We don't think it's right to kill any human being, whether you call it murder or whether you call it execution. We're against it. We know the suffering it causes. And so, there isn't any of us in Amnesty International, which for 50 years, its members around the world have been trying to fight against killings and trying to fight to reduce suffering. And there isn't one of them, and there isn't anyone here tonight who wouldn't have done anything possible if they'd had the chance to stop the killing of Officer McPhail and help his family not have to go through the sorrow and the pain that he would have through. We would have done anything to stop that killing. And in the same spirit, we're now trying to do anything we can to stop another killing. A killing is planned for next Wednesday. And you know, if an execution is carried out against Troy Anthony Davis, they will be killing somebody that they are holding captive, somebody who is no danger to anyone. And when the state dares to kill someone that has already imprisoned, that's not just something that's terribly wrong. That's a violation of the most basic human rights that belong to every single human being. That's a human rights violation of the most serious kind. And because it's a human rights violation, I can tell you that millions of people all around the world who are fighting for human rights, who care about human rights, are watching what's happening right here tonight in the state of Georgia. And they are doing more than watching. They are acting. They are taking, they're writing hundreds of thousands of letters on behalf of Troy Davis. They are saying, in this world of ours, there's too much killing. There's too much suffering. We've got to stop killing, and we're not going to allow one more killing to take place. That's what people are saying all around the world. There are gatherings like this. There have been gatherings like this in France, in Germany, in Peru, in Hong Kong, in country after country. People have been getting together to send that very simple message. But why is it that millions of people are thinking about this scheduled execution, this person on death row? Because we know, sadly, there are many executions in this country, and there are many people on death row. What is it that makes this one so special? I'll tell you. It's because what is happening to Troy Anthony Davis illustrates better than any other case I know of everything that is wrong with the practice of killing prisoners within that country. It reveals the fundamental flaw that can never be fixed, because the death penalty requires and demands that we ask fallible human beings to play the role that no human being should play, and that's to act like they are God. That they can, with absolute certainty, because if you're going to kill a human being, you have to be absolutely certain. They can say with absolute certainty who is innocent and who is guilty, who should live and who should die. And that's something that no human being should be allowed to do. Because human beings make mistakes, and we've just heard that in the most powerful way. What happens when human beings try to play the role of God? We know that right now, the Board of Pardon and Paroles has been given this terrible responsibility, this impossible task of having to decide whether a human being should live or a human being should die. But it's also for them an opportunity that very seldom comes to any of us, because they have the power to save a life, to save a human being. They can do it. Now I know that they would be the first to admit, I'm sure, that they are only fallible human beings. And I'm sure that they have doubts, all of them, serious doubts about whether the man they have been asked to decide on whether he should live or die is actually guilty of the crime. Because they know what we know, that if you need absolute certainty before you kill a human being, in the case of Troy Anthony Davis, there has been no certainty. The only certain thing has been doubt. So much doubt. How much doubt? Too much doubt. How much doubt? Too much doubt. How much doubt? Way too much doubt to dare to kill another person. We are not asking the Board of Pardon and Paroles to join Amnesty International. We're not asking them to be against the death penalty. We are asking them only to look at the facts. To look at the facts, to listen to their hearts, to take seriously their own doubts, and then to do the right thing. Now, you and I know we live in a country, we're in a presidential debate, when a candidate who happens to be the governor of a state is asked whether he had any doubts in presiding over the killing of 234 people. The audience burst into applause and started to cheer. So we know that it will, in fact, it's sad but it's true, that it will take courage for the Board of Pardon and Paroles to do the right thing, to say no. We are fallible human beings. Mistakes are made all the time, and we refuse, given the doubts, the uncertainty, we refuse to take another human life. We are asking them, and some of us, many of us I'm sure in this room, including myself, are praying for them to have the courage to do what is right. To simply say, this is one death, this is one execution that we are not going to allow to take place in our name. Let's keep praying, and for me, let's keep on doing the most powerful form of prayer, and that's keep fighting for human rights and for the life of Troy Davis. Thank you.